Let's dive right into an incredibly exciting framework from Prof. Salahddine, KRIT and KRIT Academy. We're looking at a masterclass with a seriously ambitious goal, taking absolute beginners with zero coding experience and turning them into published digital entrepreneurs by 2026. In this explainer, we're going to unpack their exact syllabus so you can completely bypass those years of steep learning curves. So, the crucial point we're starting with today challenges the absolute biggest myth in mobile development. You know the one, the terrifying blank page. Most people think that to launch an app, you literally need to lock yourself in a basement for months, writing thousands of lines of complex Java or Kotlin from scratch. But, as we're about to see, the modern digital landscape offers a much smarter, highly efficient alternative.
To get there, we'll follow a proven 6-step developer's blueprint. We'll cover what reskinning actually is, how to prepare your workspace, the visual and technical transformation, testing and smart monetization, publishing on Google Play, and finally, turning that attempt into a full-blown business.
All right, Module 1. What is reskinning?
This right here is the secret weapon. Think of reskinning exactly like renovating a house or customizing a high-end car. The structural foundation, the heavy lifting of the engineering, the engine, the walls, the plumbing, it's already there and it works perfectly. What you're doing is stepping in as the visionary. The paint, the interior layout, the branding, the whole user experience, that becomes entirely yours. You're taking a proven framework and giving it a totally new life and purpose.
Full development demands immense time and advanced architectural skills. It is a massive barrier to entry. But reskinning, it's all about rapid deployment. It empowers students and young developers to immediately enter the mobile market, test their ideas out in the real world, and start building a portfolio without spending years stuck in the theory phase.
But I literally cannot emphasize this next point enough, and it's a massive pillar of the KRIT Academy philosophy. A professional reskin must always operate within strict legal boundaries. You absolutely cannot just download a random app and copy it. That's illegal. You have to rely exclusively on assets and code you legally have the right to modify. So we're talking about using proper open-source projects or purchasing templates that come with valid commercial licenses. You've got to respect intellectual property at all times.
Okay, moving right along to Module 2, preparing your workspace.
Setting up your digital workbench correctly is your first real step, and you need to use industry-standard tools. You're going to start with Android Studio and the Java Development Kit, which is your main coding environment. But crucially, you also need Git and GitHub. Why? Because when you're messing with code, you will make mistakes. GitHub is your version control. It's basically the ultimate undo button, so you can always revert to a working version if things break. Finally, you need a way to actually test things out, either using virtual emulators on your laptop or a physical Android phone hooked up via USB.
Module 3 brings us to the really fun part, the visual and technical transformation.
By systematically updating these specific elements, you completely overwrite the generic template with your own unique brand identity. You swap out the logo, update the color palette, and tweak the typography. But look closely at that last point, the package name or application ID. Changing this is absolutely vital. It acts as your app's unique digital fingerprint, telling the Google Play Store, hey, this is a completely new, distinct application, not just a minor visual update to some existing template.
Now, to avoid getting totally overwhelmed, you'll live by this simple 4-step heartbeat. You import the legal project, modify the assets, rigorously test your changes, and generate the final build. This repeatable loop is the absolute core of the reskinning process. Sticking to it exactly is what keeps you organized and prevents chaotic coding errors.
And looking ahead to 2026, the framework shows how you can supercharge this entire timeline using artificial intelligence. Things that used to take solo developers a full month, they can now be condensed into this fast-track schedule. AI is basically your ultimate co-founder here. You can use it to brainstorm fresh app ideas, write compelling store descriptions, troubleshoot code errors in Android Studio, and even design gorgeous app icons in record time.
Let's roll into Module 4, testing and smart monetization.
Before you even think about making money, you really need to understand the technical difference between these two file types. When you just want to test the app on your own phone to check for bugs or crashes, you generate an APK file. But when you are ready to publish to the world, Google requires an AAB file, an Android App Bundle. The AAB is highly optimized, ensuring that when a user downloads your app, they only get the specific code needed for their exact device, which keeps the file size super small and efficient. When it comes to monetization, integrating Google AdMob is definitely the standard path. It gives you 3 distinct, smart advertising formats. Banner ads sit quietly at the top or bottom of the screen. Interstitial ads take over the entire screen, but you should really only use those during natural pauses, like when someone finishes a level in a game. And rewarded ads, they offer the user something valuable, like an extra life, in exchange for watching a quick video. The golden rule here? Always prioritize a clean, non-spammy user experience. If you frustrate people with way too many ads, they're going to uninstall in a heartbeat.
Module 5. Publishing on Google Play. Navigating the Google Play console requires a ton of patience and extreme attention to detail. You can't just click upload and call it a day. You have to set up a developer account, carefully import that optimized AAB file we just talked about, and then meticulously fill out privacy policies, data safety forms, and content rating questionnaires. Google is incredibly strict about user safety, so moving through these compliance steps accurately is completely non-negotiable before you hit publish.
But here's a quick reality check for you. Simply publishing isn't enough. There are literally millions of apps out there. Mastering App Store Optimization, or ASO, is the real marketing engine of your app. You need an optimized title, descriptions packed with the right search keywords, eye-catching screenshots that explain the app's value in a matter of seconds, and a solid strategy for gathering positive user reviews. Skip this, and your app will just be invisible in a sea of millions.
Finally, Module 6, turning the attempt into a full-on business.
Reskinning opens the door to multiple, diverse business models, which is amazing. You're not boxed into just one path here. You could build a massive portfolio of free, ad-supported apps that generate passive income while you sleep. You could create premium software with in-app purchases or recurring subscriptions. Or, armed with these new skills, you could even start a freelance development studio, offering reskinning and mobile optimization services directly to clients. The flexibility is totally in your hands.
So, the crucial point we arrive at is this overarching Creative Academy philosophy. It's all about a cycle of continuous action. You don't just study, you apply. You learn the theory, you practice the code, you create a unique visual identity. You test it rigorously, you publish it proudly, and finally, you monetize it intelligently. Your environment is set up, the legal templates are waiting, and the global market is completely wide open. You now have the exact blueprint to bypass the terrifying blank page. So the only question left to ask is this: when 2026 rolls around, what app is going to have your name on it?